So I'm working on the old crusty pistons that I got. Here's what we got going on. These two I've already prepped, wire wheeled. These came out really nice. I'm super happy about this. These things look like they're brand spanking new. They've been honed, they've been cleaned up, wire wheeled. Everything looks great on them. Super psyched. And I'm starting to label and weigh and do ring gap. So for the first piston, we got 410.18 grams. Second one is 415.67 grams. So obviously, this one's the highest so far. And that one's gonna have to come down closer to here. And we'll get there. I'll show you how to take a little bit out of here and weigh these. Now, you may not think that that's much, but I'll tell you what, you start grinding on the inside of these things and you're going to be amazed at how long it takes you to get 5 grams of aluminum and the mess it makes. It's a lot. It's a lot. So hopefully these other pistons are really close to that. We'll see. I've already done ring gap on these. I wrote down the ring gap also on the pistons. The top one was 0.015 and the bottom one is 0.018 on both of them. So that's done. Everything's cleaned, and for these rings, I checked all of them, made sure they were all good. I also, let's see if you can see this, to avoid the problem I had before, I chamfered the corners. You can see how it's a little shiny on the tips there. That's because I ran the file here. Just gently on the corners, and went this way and went this way, and just made sure there's no extra burr. It's not much, but it's enough to stop it from scoring the inside of the cylinder. Just a real light touch. So these two are ready. I did the same with those. Everything's measured. Everything's looking good so far. So let's go on to these two. I'll pull the rings off of here. We'll clean these up. I'm amazed at how clean these things came. They looked horrible when I first got them, and now they look like they are brand spanking new. So like I said, I am super happy about this. And this is a fun little project, getting away from the engine build for a little bit while I wait for parts. Let's get these last two done, and we'll see if any trick-or-treaters show up. Starting to get dark. I am going to wipe all the excess oil off of these because I did oil the hell out of them the other day. And then I'm going to put these over at the parts washer and take a gray Scotch-Brite and try and get some of this stuff off. And most of it does come off, and then when I hit the wire wheel, hit it on the wire wheel, it takes all the rest of it right off. So things have, like I said, things have been going very smooth so far. But yeah, these are they're still filthy. They need to be cleaned. And I wasn't messing around when I put this oil on here. They are oily. And I also sprayed them with PB Blaster. These are on my parts list. Get yourself a pair. It makes this a lot easier. And they're super cheap. Totally worth it. Sometimes these oil rings are a pain in the butt to get off. This is usually why, because it gets caught on that. That doesn't want to come off, but that one came off nice. Man, it is getting super windy out there. I think we're gonna get hit with a storm. I don't know if you guys can hear that out there, but it's getting pretty nasty out. This is just a little bit of rust from the inside, but a little carb cleaner, a gray Scotch Brite, and this stuff comes right off. I'm going to write this down just because I think it's a part number. And I didn't write it down and I cleaned it off before, and it's just ink. It comes right off with the carb cleaner. If anything, it will help me when I'm going to get new wrist pins, because there's a couple of these that got a little bit of, I mean, it's really smooth, but there's just a little drag in that black area there, and there's one that's much worse. Yeah, that one's really bad. That one is just rough. I would never put that in a bearing, so gonna get some new wrist pins for this. Squeaky clean. So here's what we're gonna do. You should probably hit this with brake cleaner first. You'd be amazed at what a little thin coating of oil on a part will do when you weigh it. It will change things big time. And I oiled the crap out of these things. I'm gonna hit it with brake cleaner once. I'm gonna wipe it down, get as much of the oil out as I can, and then I'm going to hit it with brake cleaner again and blow it dry, and then we'll let that sit for a minute so we can weigh it. Alright, the rag looks pretty clean. There's a helicopter flying by. That trapper literally flew right over my house. So no dirt's coming off. Good thing. Now, wipe the inside out a little bit. Make sure nothing comes off. That helicopter's got to be having a heck of a time, because it is super windy out there. Okay. Grams. Come on, baby. Be close to 410. 415. Raggy. It's almost the exact same one as that. 415.67. That's exactly the same as that. Mark the arrow. 415.67. This is going to be number 3. Let's weigh this one again just for fun. Yeah, we got a light one. I hope I don't have to grind down 3 of them. Let's check these oil rings. You can usually check these visually. There's a big gap in there. Same with this one. That one's also good. Now, two upper rings. This is the bottom one. This is the top one. Do this one first. What I'm going to do is I'm going to put this oil ring on here. Just so I can push this ring down evenly, like so, and get the same reading for my feeler gauges. That one's right at 15.015. Nice drag. Oh, come on. All thumbs today. Bottom ring. And if it's the same as the other ones, it'll be 18. And it is. So the rings, amazingly, all three of them have been perfect so far. I had to go and say something, didn't I? So what I'm doing, I'm taking this file and I'm just knocking the very top of that off, just so I can see a little bit of shininess. And that's it. Just a few swipes on the file. So that I can see the shininess and then immediately stop. That's it. Just so it doesn't score stuff. So that one's good. Okay, that looks good. One of these I did not mark. This one. Come on, let go. Hard to put an 8 on one of these when it's a big fat squished tip marker, but I'm doing the best I can. Oh 018. 015. Now that I'm done with this cylinder, I'm going to put it in the parts washer and let it soak to get some of this crud like that loose, and then I'll hit it with the wire wheel and also the wire brush to get in between here a few spots. There's a few spots that the wire wheel won't get to, but we'll take care of that. Alright, you get the picture. I'm not going to show you this 50 times. So you know what comes next. Super speed. So I don't remember these on my AA pistons. Is this only a Molly thing? I take it that's for oiling? Or I just don't remember. One of the two. But I don't remember that being in there for the AA 90.5s. Comment. Let me know. Just for giggles, this is clean. Finger quote clean. I have not brake cleaned it yet. Let's see what the difference is between now and after I brake clean it. 409.06. Okay. Let's brake clean this thing and see what happens. You can see the condensation on there. This stuff gets so cold from that brake cleaner. Clean, but cold. .409, 408.95, 409. 6.67 grams off from the lightest one. I don't know, you guys give me your recommendations. There's a bunch of nodules here and here and here and here and here and here. Now on the AA pistons, it said AA and there was like a raised dimple in the middle where you could actually grind at that. And I kind of went after that when I did the AA pistons because it was centered, you know. There's a little bit of like cross hatchy stuff in there. 409 on the nose. Okay. This is the first hiccup in these things. Everything else is coming clean. They're looking good. But it looks like they're going to need a little bit of grindage. So 410, 415, 415, 409. Now for this last cylinder, this is the top ring. Ooh, that one might be tight. Oh yeah, that one is definitely tight. I can see it right off. Why is it always the last one? Can someone explain that to me? It's never the first one. It's always the last one. And if this is 18, that one's a little, yeah, that one's tight too. Maybe it's the hone job, I don't know. But both of these need to be worked. So here we go. Alright, let's see what kind of difference that made. This is the one we want to be 18. There it is. 18. And I need to chamfer that other side a little bit. Oh, you know what? I should probably check these oil rings. I don't remember if I did that or not. That's a 19, and it's loose in there, but all the other ones were much looser. This one hopefully is 15. It's 15, but it's a little tight. Inch. A little tight. There we go. Nice. Done. Okay, time to throw this puppy in the solvent and the parts washer. I'm going to take a break, and then when we come back, I will wire wheel these in super speed, and you'll see them all cleaned up and done. So here's what we got so far. All the ring gaps, the top ring is 0.015, and the bottom ring is 0.018 on all four. I did not write it on this one. I'll do that in a second. But here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to order the wrist pins and then weigh those also and mix and match and put the heaviest one with the lightest piston. And then we will do the math and figure out how much needs to be ground off the inside of each one of these. So these are going to get oiled up and put back in a bag, and then box them up, and then they can sit and wait. But I got a lot of the prep done on these for now, and now we're going to do a little cleanup on the cylinders. Okay, I'm going to dry these off, blow them off, and then we'll hit them on the wire wheel, see how that goes. Some people hate wire wheeling, some people dig it. I think it's very satisfying because you get to see real results, especially in a project like this. Let's see how this comes off of here. Bada bing, forget about it. Like a glove. Alright, we'll take a break. You guys get the idea. They're coming super clean. I'm really stoked about this whole project. So there you have it. I'm going to order some wrist pins and mix and match and try and get these as close as I can for weight. There's our latest one, 409 on the nose. These two are both the heaviest. They're both exactly the same. And that one's just a little bit closer to the 409. So it is what it is. They're never perfect. Hopefully I get some wrist pins that are various weights and I can mix and match and even these out. I doubt it, but usually the wrist pins are pretty damn close. But there you have it, everybody. Next time you go to swap meet and you see something rusty, don't pass it up. A little bit of time, some simple tools, and you got yourself some parts. And these have a story behind them. This is a guy that used to be into Formula Vee. And his wife is selling all his old stuff. And now these things are probably going to get some use. So it's pretty cool. Happy Halloween, everyone. Have a great night.